Ryan, it's nice to see and hear you again. It's been a while.
Well, yeah, I was just saying to my coworker that in the past 4 weeks I've done so many things that I hadn't done for 2 years, and yeah, my body, it's just like you're not young anymore.
No, that happens a lot when you get old. Um, it's not young anymore when you get old. Uh, but no, we both had a busy couple of weeks. I was traveling, you were
Yeah,
traveling, you
yeah,
were traveling again. Uh,
yeah.
but we're back in Utah, and it's a busy, busy time,
It
s-
is. Yes.
cinematically speaking, and that's okay. Let's talk about busy, busy times. It's almost like I don't know. We've gone through 65 million years of movies and just a couple, which of course brings us now to this week's biggest, hugest opening ever.
Mm.
Uh, Jurassic World Dominion. Um, let's talk about this. Written and directed by Colin Trevorrow, who famously got fired from the Star Wars franchise before ever
Because of
making a movie.
yeah, before because of his last film. What
Book
was
of
it?
Henry.
Book of Henry. Yeah.
Yeah, but he still got a story credit on Rise of Skywalker, which I mentioned in my written review, and that explains a lot when I think about this film. So yeah, we get Chris Pratt, we get Bryce Dallas Howard, we get Sam Neill, we get Jeff Goldblum, we get Laura Dern. All the cast is here for one more go round with the dinosaurs. Man, it's a world in which mankind and dinosaur actually live side by side, not this little fantasy world that John Hammond had way back in that quaint time where Steven Spielberg made a little movie about dinosaurs. Uh, man, I don't know. I actually looked at the Metacritic score today, just a couple minutes ago for this, because I kept feeling like I was out of the norm here in my opinion of this film, and I don't think I am.
No. Well,
Uh,
I don't know.
I think it's just downright terrible.
What I would say is if you're going just for dinosaurs, literally just for dinosaurs, you might enjoy the film. Um, and it would have been a better film if they took all the human characters out of it, because there's so much just nonsense going on. Um, I think they've completely forgotten what the franchise was.
Yes,
Jurassic Park was an action film with smart people who were put into situations that they really couldn't do anything but be in danger.
yep,
It wasn't like they made really stupid decisions. Some of them did, but most of them were smart people who was like, well, it's just a dangerous situation. How do we work our way out of this? I mean,
exactly,
even the kids, they weren't doing really stupid stuff. They were just caught in situations that were dangerous.
absolutely.
The new film, and this is not the first film that's kind of gone in that direction, but they're just idiots. All of them. Everyone is just a bunch of idiots running around, um, and doing stuff that doesn't make any sense,
Oh, thank
just
God.
so just so that you know you got a story. I guess. I mean, it's there's
Well,
so much going on that it's hard to say. Well, this is what the movie's about.
there's so many storylines in this. I mean, you've got GMO crops, you've got big agro, you've got environmental damage, you've got evil corporations, you've got again an evil genetics company. The
Mm.
evils of genetic power, and then just all of this. And what I hate is just it's packed with all of this. I'm going to say it: fan service, nits and noids and drops and hints of stuff, and just designed to remind you of, frankly, far better entries in this franchise.
Well, and I think that's part of the problem is you do there's a I love Jurassic Park.
Who
Uh, you
who
know,
doesn't?
I mean, again, it was sort of the Top Gun of its time in that we all went in just expecting a spectacle.
Yep.
And we came away with something that actually had some heart. It had a real story. It had a real message. It was intelligent. So it's hard to see, when you're bringing back all the legacy characters and they're so far removed from who they were in that first film that you love. I mean, it's almost embarrassing for the actors. It's like, why did we bring you back to do this?
I
This of all things.
I don't know. And can I tell you, I think there's one bit in this, and I don't know if you caught it. I don't know how, because I haven't seen anyone comment on it, and I didn't even put it in my review because I wanted to save it. There's one thing in here that really kind of encapsulates how disconnected this film is from what Jurassic Park should be. When Laura Dern and Sam Neill infiltrate the biosyn preserve, where for some reason we've still allowed all dinosaurs to survive, and we ship them to this place where only biosyn can study them. But we'll get to that. And they need
It's a plot device.
It's a plot device. So they need the little little RFID card to go around and get through all the security doors, which Malcolm gives them because he works there.
Yes.
And Laura Dern hands it to Sam Neill and specifically says, "Here, hold this." Now, if you're familiar with his character at all, you know that something bad should happen based on technology, because he does not,
yes.
and nothing does.
No.
It literally, he holds it up, every door opens, and nothing ever happens. It's literally, that is like the most basic tenet of his. And if Malcolm had handed it to him and he'd gone around opening the doors, that would have been one thing. But she made it a point to give it to him and say, "Hold on to this. Like, I'm drawing attention to this." And I was like, "Oh God, what's going to happen?" And then nothing did. And it's like, literally, that's like indicative of how disconnected this film is, in my opinion.
No, I mean, I just, it's going to make a ton of money.
Yep.
And everyone's going to talk, from a studio standpoint, is going to talk about what a success it was, and give it 3 or 4 years. And they're going to talk about, okay, how do we reboot again? I guess it's Jurassic Universe. Which, I mean, you go into dinosaurs in outer space.
T-Rex in space.
If Fast and the Furious can end up in space, why not Jurassic Universe?
I can't see how that could possibly go wrong.
Do you think they'd wear spacesuits? Because I think it'd be awesome if there was dinosaurs in spacesuits.
It would be cool, except the T-Rex couldn't take his own helmet off.
It's too short hands. That's a good point.
Yeah. So he would definitely need a ground crew of some sort. So, yeah, but you're right. Everything in this film is a plot device.
Yeah.
Literally everything is a plot device. It's just designed to move these characters from place to place to do things that are dumb, in relation to dinosaurs. And there's another line in here, actually, that I think kind of maybe addresses the studio's thinking when they made this film. And it's when Dr. Sadler and Dr. Grant first get to the preserve, and there's the little baby dinosaurs, and she goes up and starts scratching its little nose and petting it, and she's giggling, and she's like, "You never get tired of it." And it's like, that's what the studio was thinking. People never get tired of dinosaurs. We can make whatever we want. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. And unfortunately, looking at the box office numbers, maybe they're right. It's not unfathomable. It was inevitable that this would open to fairly sizable numbers.
Oh yeah.
But
I would be interested to see the drop off between today, tomorrow, Sunday, and next weekend.
Well, and I think, yes, whereas, we just had Top Gun, had a record drop in the sense that it only dropped 32% from opening week. And,
right.
And that's, typically in the modern age, if a film were to drop 50%, they would be excited. 55, this is not bad. 60, it's okay. 70, okay, now we're in trouble.
Right.
But it literally, Top Gun was the opposite of that. It did so well.
And
So
it's
yeah,
not like that was like some indie film drawing in 3 million a weekend.
no,
This is
no.
big numbers, and so your percentages are a lot more. And you're right, it didn't drop.
And with that said, the film's done what, top ends in 600 million. It wouldn't surprise me if Jurassic, because it's popular in China, because it's in China, and
Oh yeah,
actually it's
which
getting released in China, that this will match that 600 million pretty quickly. Um,
but
and
as
and
we've learned, and we've said often on this show, box office is not an indicator
no,
of quality.
no, it's not. And so but it just gets frustrating sometimes, because it's like we say we want something new and different, or what audiences speak with, and they need to understand this, is with what they buy tickets for.
Yep.
So if you want something different, buy tickets to something that's different. Or if you want better sequels, or whatever it is, it's just kind of frustrating, because I know this film is going to do extremely well, and there's going to be a lot of people patting each other on the back and bonuses and things, and that's great for Universal if they can turn around and make some better films, I guess. But it's just kind of frustrating when you see a film that is so mediocre. And
At
so,
best.
yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah, I have absolutely zero desire to ever see any part of that movie again.
Yeah, and what's funny is that in my house we were split.
Yeah.
One of us was terribly excited after this, or was happy about it, and one of us, of course, was not. So yeah, and ironically, we're going to talk about another movie at some point that we saw the next day that we were split in the other direction. So
Really?
yes, we were split in the other direction, and
All
we'll
right.
talk about that when we get there. But yeah,
Sure.
but again, if you're in this for dinosaurs,
Just dinosaurs.
just dinosaurs. If you just want to see dinosaurs, and the thing is that there's not really that many dinosaurs.
Well, and
I feel like the last movie had way more dinosaurs.
I would say that this film's special effects are also inconsistent. There are moments that look really quite good, and there are moments that look really quite terrible. Um, and they are mixing practical effects with CGI more than they had in the past, and
Right.
things. But I don't know. I mean, if you're going to see it, you're going to see it, and I understand, because
Right.
even if I would see this, I would go and pay and see this, like, out of some sort of devotion, or
Because you're a
whatever.
completist.
Exactly. So I understand, if you go and see it, but if honestly, if you're not just there for dinosaurs, I don't know how you can enjoy this movie.
I don't either. I said Trevorrow should be barred from the director's chair ever again. Because literally this is the rise of Skywalker of the Jurassic Park universe. They just throw everything in there they can get. And again, he wrote or helped write Rise of Skywalker, which he was going to direct, which makes me wonder how bad that film could have been based on this.
Yeah. No. Well, and it could have been worse. If you look at Book of Henry and then this, I mean, he directed a film called Safety Not Guaranteed. I think it was a Sundance film that was kind of a time travel thing that was interesting, but he didn't write it. And so what it looks like to me is that he was, maybe it's either that was a complete fluke, or he needs to team up with somebody who knows how to put stories together. I don't know.
Right.
But I remember when the first film came out, or the Safety Not Guaranteed, and I enjoyed it. And
Safety Not Guaranteed is great.
I look forward to whatever he was doing, and so but he hasn't done anything that's remotely as good since.
No,
So I mean, what do you do? I don't know.
I don't know. I really don't. It's just not good. He needs to scale back. I mean, but he made this small movie, but it was the Book of Henry. So
And
I,
it was
I
not
don't even
good.
know.
It was that movie was just terrible too.
Yeah.
But Universal now is, I mean, they're going to make a lot of money off this. They made a lot off of the first Jurassic World,
Yep.
and so he will likely get more films. As long as they make money,
I
the
know.
studios really aren't going to care so much about whether or not they're good.
Yeah, and that's how studios eventually go bankrupt. Because I don't know. Well, creatively bankrupt anyway. Uh, yeah, just not good at all. Yeah, that's just. I was angry. I was just angry when I left. I'm like, there's so many things you could see spots where it's like, well, they could have done this. No, that's not what they did. They could have done this. Like, no, that's not what they did. There were so many things going on that nothing was going on.
Well, and I think today someone asked me, well, all the storylines, was there one that could have been really good? And no, none of these storylines in the
Not
in
as a
in, in
Jurassic World story, no.
it yes, there's nothing that in this film that's a tangent, or like, of the six stories going on, oh well, this one could have been really, none of them
Nope.
are interesting. And the whole Tim Cook ripoff
I'm glad
technology
you
thing.
said it because that's what I put in my review.
Well, it is. I mean, it's so blatantly obvious that's what they're doing. They're riffing on, Tim Cook of Apple, and it's like, I mean, the villain characters in this film belong in the Sonic films, the Sonic the Hedgehog films, because they're
Yeah,
so, like, blown up and over the top, and I mean, and obvious. There's, like, I don't know. I mean, the thing that was cool about Jurassic Park is you had a man who believed in an idea and thought it was really cool and thought it would be a wonderful thing, and he wasn't trying to, like, be
nope.
evil and ruin the world. He just had a lot of money, and he had this dream, and he was chasing this dream, and there were parts of,
Best intentions and unintended
yes,
consequences.
exactly. But he wasn't a bad guy. You
Nope.
you actually wish he succeeded. You
Yeah.
don't think that he possibly, I mean, I don't know how he does succeed, but you wish that he could. And so it's a completely different sort of movie. I don't, it just, again, I'm done,
Yeah.
Done.
I don't need any more dinosaurs. And I would like to say that I think the nostalgia train is done. We should just be done. The nostalgia movies are done. I thought we had it. We figured it out with Ghostbusters Afterlife. And thankfully, the next one they said is not going to be it's going to be a continuation of the kids and
Yeah.
Ghostbusters, and I'm okay with that. But this whole let's pack everything in from the good old days and just try to bank on that needs to be done. This probably should have killed it because it apparently cannot be done responsibly for the most part. Because even Ghostbusters Afterlife really didn't. It didn't bring anybody back till the end.
Yeah.
It reminded you of those things, but this it just crammed it all in. Rise of Skywalker, it just crammed everything it possibly could in.
Yeah.
It just stop, reboot it and be done with it, or leave it alone.
I
But
just,
those are really your own choices.
I would just say leave it alone, at
I
least
would say
for,
leave it alone too.
give us, I don't, I mean, yeah, just
How how can
let
we
it go.
miss you if you won't go away?
Hmm.
Maverick, 36 years, they went away, and we missed them.
Well,
Uh, but they addressed it
the,
smarter too.
well, and it's, to that film's credit, it, a lot of times what happens is we're chasing the feeling that we had when we saw something originally.
Yep.
So when you go see Top Gun Maverick, you're just looking for the thrills that you felt back in, you know,
86,
what,
yeah.
yeah, that you felt then as a kid. And in order to do that, they've got to make a film that's better, because we've seen that film.
Yep.
And so the newness factor is gone. So we need a film that is like, it levels up. Well, Top Gun Maverick leveled up and then some.
Oh yeah.
And that's why it was exciting. I mean, it's we're all trying to reconnect with whatever that feeling was the first time we went to Disneyland, or we went to saw a movie in a theater,
Yep.
or it's trying to reconnect with the past, through that's what the nostalgia really is for. It's just so you can, whatever it was you were feeling 40 years ago, 30 years ago. And Top Gun does that very well. Jurassic World does not.
Does not at all. You know what? Then let's leave Jurassic Park right there to die, as it should have 2 movies ago, I think, at least 2 movies ago. Say what you want about the last of the original trilogy. I will debate that, but yeah, after that, the debate goes downhill pretty quick. So, we have got another big release coming out next week that we're going to talk about: Lightyear from Disney Pixar. Elvis is coming, Baz Luhrmann's weird biopic with Tom Hanks, not as Elvis, Colonel Tom Parker. Lots of films coming out, good stuff. Thor: Love and Thunder is on the horizon. That will be coming. We still need to talk about Kenobi. Ms. Marvel premiered a couple days ago from the time that we talked about this. We need to talk about that. We're about 2 months out from freaking Lord of the Rings, I guess, and then She-Hulk right after that, and then it's a good time to be a media consumer, I guess, provided you can find the good stuff and not the bad stuff.
Or find the time to try to consume a lot. There's a lot going on.
There's
so
a
much
lot going on.
And it's getting to the point where I feel incompetent to a certain extent, because I just can't do it all, folks. Can't do everything.
No, it's your job and you can't do it. I'm trying to do it on top of another job. So, it's hard. I'm going to have to do another batch review on a bunch of small stuff to talk about, but I mean, it's nice. It's first world problem.
Yeah.
We have so much stuff to watch. Oh, how terrible. Woe is us. Please don't pity us, but understand when we miss a movie, that it happens. End of the month, 4th of July weekend, I will actually be in Denver for Fan Expo, and they are allowing me to do a panel, which I am trying to wrangle panelists for as we speak. So if you're going to be in the Denver area, and you want to watch me embarrass myself in front of a room full of people, find the panel called the Quotability Index, where we'll be talking about movie quotes and quotable movies. So that should hopefully be a fun time. That's what that panel is designed to be. But as we said, we've got a lot of stuff coming up, and we will get to that as fast as we can. But until then, don't forget to like us. Follow us on social media at VS Movie Podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, click subscribe. That would be lovely as well. And until next time, I am Mark. That is Ryan. Bye, Ryan.
See you guys.
And we will talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.